think forward is to acknowledge backwards, and what that means is, in order for the future to exist, the past must have already existed. Likewise, in order for a second to exist, then the first must have already existed. For 2 is the ultimate number of dependency that leads back to its origin from which it derived from. Welcome to Back to the Basics, where you learn facts, hope you embrace it. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. I'm fearless. Welcome to Back to the Basics, where you learn facts, hope you embrace it. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. They teach you that there are 60 seconds in a minute. And if you look closely, you would see that the word minute actually comes from the ancient Egyptian deity of fertility called Min, and thus implies a miniature portion of time. The word miniature is from the Italian word miniatura, meaning illumination or a small picture, from the word miniare, which means illuminate, from the Latin word minium, meaning red lead. Boom! Oh, you didn't get it? Okay. Miniature is actually speaking about the red glow of the rising sun ray in ancient Tamaray. Thus, it would be the first. And then the second event would be the appearance of the actual sun. So you see, the minute comes first and the second would follow in their time. You have been deceived and tricked out of time. And you know this because they teach you about the tick and the tock of the clock. But they never teach you about the space in between the tick and the tock, which is also time that should be referred to as the moment, which is a very brief portion of time. This improper way of looking at time makes it very hard for you to understand just how Panettidu, our ancient ancestors, would exist in other time zones or parallel worlds where beings do exist as a part of all. Our account of time as ancient Egyptians began with the ancient deity known as Tahuti. Tahuti created the original Egyptian calendar, and he based it on the rising of a star called Septet, also known as Saptu, Sothis, Sapdet, and Siptu. Today it's called Sirius, the dog star. Tahuti created this original calendar in sets of 10, which would be based on the number 1, the first time. 1 being the root of 10, and it was in concordance with the circumference of the earth, which was much larger then than now. At that time, there were only 3 seasons. The flood season was called Aket, which occurred during the months that is now called September, October, November, and December, followed by the growth season called Peret, which occurred during the months that is now called January, February, March, and April. And then finally the harvest season followed, called Shimel, which occurred during the months that is now called May, June, July, and August. In the original calendar, each month consists of 30 days. 120 days in a season called Aket, 120 days in a season called Peret, and 120 days in a season called Shemel, all equaling 360 days, which made 1 year. We had 3 weeks in each month, which consists of 10 days. Each day consists of 10 hours. Each hour consists of 100 minutes. Each minute consists of 100 seconds. And each second consists of 1,000 moments. This gave us 100,000 seconds from midday to midday. And the months and the days were named after our ancient Egyptian deities. Just like today, where the Gregorian calendar's months are named after Roman gods and customs. And since we are not Romans, the first month in our original calendar was named after Tahuti. And the first day of the new year was named after Hathor. Unfortunately, all of this was thrown off due to a massive craft, thought to be a meteorite, which banged into this planet, throwing it out of orbit, shattering the lower half of it, which became the Asteroid Belt some 24 billion years ago. This is how the asteroid belt came about, for the scientists who don't know. This collision caused the development of a new Earth, which was thrown out of its original orbital position, thus rendering it no longer in tune with the rest of the universe. This made the planet in one sense in time and out of time in another. How is that, you may ask? Well, because of the collision, the shape of Earth is no longer circular, but is more like an oval, and its orbit is oblong, making the planet wobble as it spins. The Earth's axis has been thrown off, tilting it to a 23.5 degree axis. This rotation caused a shift in time and thus a new time zone. The new calculation of time became the precession at its poles, which is 26,000 years for one revolution. This simultaneously ties in with the equinox of 25,000 years at its circumference. With changes varying in climate by expansion and contraction, you now have 4 sets of seasons instead of 3. After this change occurred, Imhotep, a student of the master teacher and scribe Tahuti, corrected the calendar to fit the day and time they were living in by adding 5 days called Epagamental days, used to commemorate the birth of the Neteru every 4th year. The first day was called Asar, the second day was called Har, the third day Satuk, the fourth day Aset, and the fifth day Neptet, which gave you 365 and a quarter day. And every 4th year he added 1 day for Anubu's born day, and that kept the calendar balanced. This is why we now have the extra day, which they call leap year. Unfortunately, the evil ones changed this calendar and shortened it to 365 days. They then changed the time from set to 10 and based it on the number 6, creating 60 seconds in a minute, which is 6 plus 0 equals 6, 60 minutes in an hour, again, 6 plus 0 equals 6, and 24 hours in a day. That's 2 plus 4 equals 6, giving you 666, the number of the beast. Revelation 13:17-18. You must realize that this second time is the devil's time. The Greeks, Romans, Arabs, Babylonians, and Hebrews all grafted their calendar from the original Egyptian calendar, but deviated by replacing the Egyptian names with names of their deities in their languages, or their religious names, and altered the seasons. The sole purpose of doing all this is to keep you from calculating the end of their 6,000-year rule from the 33rd degree of the latitude of the planet and the coming in of yours, which is now. You can't accept any of their time. Don't trust any of their dates. They only seek to deceive you about your past. And please, don't believe a word that I'm saying. Go ahead and check it out for yourself. I'm Kef Ray, and this is Back to the Basic. Like, share, and subscribe. Facts we stated. You wanna know something? Go back to basics. Mozart trapping was called the Matrix. The world civilized, yet it's hard to face it. So I spread truth, hope you embrace it.